Betting, betting, and betting. Let's all bet, guys. Will Jesus Christ return? I don't know, but you could bet on it. Did Bad Bunny wear a dress at the Super Bowl? No, but you could have bet on it, as well as the first song he would play, the last song, his special guest. And the guy who guessed it was Lady Gaga apparently made it out with $17,000 in profit. Guess what? That could be you. Oh, is that not enough? How about betting on politics? Will the United States bomb Iran? Who knows? But you could definitely bet on it. Well, at least one person knows, because there's this one Polymarket account that keeps dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars onto this bet and many others, which is surely not a sign of how rampant capitalism has gotten and how this is probably going to become the next Pentagon Pizza Index. Prediction markets. The new fad to hit the mainstream internet. If you have watched any mainstream YouTubers or podcasters, I can guarantee you've heard things the likes of Polymarket or Kalshi, betting on things like, once again, the return of Jesus Christ, which is causing at least 500 engagement farming tweets an hour. But I digress. If you're like me, you were probably very confused about all of this. Who is the person paying out? Who is even making all these bets? How is any of this legal? But fear not, for I also did not know up until a few minutes ago. Let's find out together. From what I understand, prediction markets is the first way to legally gamble on sports in all 50 of the United States of America. Because legally, they aren't betting, but rather they're predicting the outcome based on futures backed by the FTC and other things. But how did we get to this point? A brief history on gambling and sports betting in the United States. Such a stupid. In the 1950s, gambling wasn't banned, but rather whatever was being gambled on had to be visible. Stuff like horse racing or the lottery, which was backed by the government. As long as the government had control over it, you were a-okay to gamble on it. Now in the 1960s, sports betting was officially deemed illegal, but was very rampant from the 1950s onwards, since back then there wasn't really a way to track who was gambling on what sports, because everything was done via cash transactions and phone calls and organized crime. What did this lead to? Spot fixing. Yup. People, or actually organizations, or actually criminals, started paying off athletes to throw their games so that they could bet against them and win the big bucks. Spot fixing is mostly out of the scope of this video, but I did want to mention it because we don't know if this could be happening today, especially with stuff like Polymarket and Kalshi, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, all the way up to the 2010s, with the rise of the internet, online sports betting was deemed illegal, except in Nevada. Interesting. So with the rise of the internet, which state was the first to launch online betting apps? You guessed it. So technically Nevada was the first state to launch online betting, but it came with some very, very odd rules. You could use a sports betting app. However, you had to be physically present in Nevada, that's a given, and you had to register for the app in person at a casino which was inside Nevada. So this didn't really become the game changer that it would soon become. So for a while there, the only way to really gamble online was with websites and apps whose servers were offshore in countries whose rules were very lax. Some recent examples that you can think of are things like Stake or Roobet. And the cool thing about Stake is that it uses cryptocurrency. To understand my disdain about crypto, please watch on my previous videos. Now, all online betting in the United States was banned right up until 2018, when the, now hold on, PASPA, or the Professional and Amateur Sports Protection Act, was overturned. This was the law that effectively put a freeze on all online betting in states where it was not allowed, but states that it were allowed in, like Nevada, get to keep that right. The repeal of this law was the real catalyst to the rise of internet sports betting. So you ended up with your DraftKings, your MGM Sportsbooks, your Bet Rivers, Fanatics Sportsbooks, Caesars Sportsbooks. I don't know what that one is. If you somehow stumbled on this video, first of all, subscribe please. Second of all, you have definitely seen Drew Gooden's video on online sports betting, and he goes into way more nuances because I, for one, do not even watch a lot of sports, and two, I literally don't understand what any of these like plus minuses and percentages mean on these sports apps. All I do is I use the bonus bets, bet on teams that are gonna win, get my free cash and leave. Now, even with the repeal of this act, that was only at a federal level. At the state level, they still had the decision to either allow or decline online sports betting. Till date, only 38 states are allowing online betting throughout the whole state, while the other states are still hesitant. For a good reason. Now, how would one circumvent this ban and make sure we can bet in all 50 of the United States of America? They really need more revenue than the $300 billion they've already made since just 2018 on all these sports books. Well, some geniuses realized that all they had to do was reclassify it, meaning it's not betting, it's predicting. So apps like Polymarket and Kalshi don't bet on sports, but rather you are signing a futures contract which is backed by the FTC, which allows for the payout of specific amounts based on the outcome of these predictions, or sorry, futures. This allows for it to be run in all 50 states regardless of what the states want, because this is at a federal level. Now, I do want to add that there are states trying to push back on this, and I'm really happy they are because none of this is good. But like I said, state laws do not matter. Thus, we have things like betting on Jesus Christ. You know what? You can do whatever you want with your money. It's yours after all. If you want to bet on how many songs are going to be on Bruno Mars' new album, go right ahead. I personally bet that there's going to be 38, and I could potentially get $1 million. But maybe, just maybe, we don't have to bet on everything? Food for thought? Listen, when I'm at work, I pop in my AirPod and I listen to a lot of my Reading Reddit Story podcasts. But when I eventually run out of them, I do sometimes listen to things the likes of Impulsive or Flagrant. I'm not proud of it. I'm trying to get out of the habit. I'm sorry, guys. But all these Dude Bro podcasts seem to be fixated on this new fad of betting on anything that they can bet on.
Bad Bunny is also maybe going to be wearing a dress. Check the Polymarket. I think it was at 16% last time I checked. Who knows?
But why can I bet on the next Democratic presidential candidate? And how is that federally backed? You know what? Screw that. Does anyone know Lord Miles? The guy who really likes hanging out in Afghanistan? He made a Polymarket bet that he could last 10 days in a water fast in Afghanistan. Insider trading aside, how is any of that legal and federally backed? But no, that's not even the biggest issue I have with all of these things, even though it's a few of the issues that I have. No. The biggest issue I have with this is not how people are spending their money on this or what they're betting on, even though I'm not comfortable with that idea, and if you genuinely have a gambling problem, please seek help. But rather, all these influencers on TikTok who make either these rage bait political takes or the most lukewarm takes ever heard, and then suddenly end their video with, well, I don't know if I'm right on this or not, but if you think you're right, you can bet on this on Kalshi. My prediction is that Zoran Mamdani is Indian. So alongside with being backed by the FTC, these apps are bypassing and breaking FTC laws. This is the most bare bones basic FTC law. Ad disclosure. At least when Stake was plastering their logo on everything, at least the videos had hashtag ad on them. The only one I've seen of these videos just have like hashtag promo, which I don't even think is allowed. So we went from the government blanket banning online gambling in every state except where it was originally allowed, it's a bit confusing, to now the government backing AI slop bets. Why is everything slop? If you see any of these TikTok videos with a Polymarket or a Kalshi integration, do me and the world a favor and report these for being non-disclosed ads, if that's even a thing, or just for straight up terrorism, because I really don't want to hear their takes. We really don't need Gen Z people getting addicted to something that their boomers already got addicted to and overcome? Were the vapes not enough that we now need to get addicted to gambling? And it's always really funny that whenever I'm writing these videos, some article comes across my feed which perfectly reinforces the problems I have with these things. An editor for Mr. Beast has been suspended from the online betting platform Kalshi after the company says he was using insider information to place bets related to his boss's upcoming videos. This is also a problem with prediction markets. This is also why when the WWE was launching gambling on the match outcomes, there was immediate outcry about how the bookers and the story writers and any insiders could straight up bet on the matches before anyone else. The government can insider bet. Your tax monies can be used to insider bet on wars now, guys. This is now a valid way to see if a war is about to break out, to see what the bets are looking like on Polymarket. If you suddenly see $100,000 on America nuking a random country, it's not a good sign. My channel is slowly turning into a doomer channel, but nothing that's happening in the world is good. Like, I can't even build a new PC because of all the AI. I can't even secure my financial future because I keep gambling it all away. Maybe I should just delete Twitter. Anyways, thanks for watching. Get out of here.